Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. You could describe him as the Dark Lord of Mordor, you could describe him as the English Jake Paul, but I personally like to know him as Morgz.
It's time to play some Strip Fortnite.
Hi guys, it's Finn here. Welcome back to another YouTube video of mine. Today in this video, as you already might know, I ordered some Morgz merch.
Ho, ho, ho. On the outside, Morgz may seem like just a two-dimensional Mr. Beast clone with no actual quality content. And that, my friends, may be true, but when you take another look inside, it's a whole nother story. Let's get into it. Everyone, hackers, you would say, my name is Paul Groseclose. Stay on this channel, link for this best social media and the influencers on this platform. So if you guys are new here and also dig this sort of content, make sure to smash subscribe. And a few months back in August of 2018, I uploaded a video titled Morgz is a Genius and I Hate Him For It. And boy, oh boy, did I have some pretty harsh things to say. And I'm gonna say this, he's one of the worst content creators on YouTube. Like, I really do not like Morgz. I do not like his content. I do not like his clickbait. I just do not like Morgan at all. I was so negative back then. Positivity over negativity, guys. Anyways, in that video I broke down the YouTube content strategy of Morgz and why he was a genius. But my friends, a lot has changed since then. I mean, for starters, he like doubled his subscriber count from like 5 to 10 million in like 7 months, which is insane. Wow. And in the vein of this new series that I'm calling YouTuber Money, the show where I break down the business models behind your favorite creators, I figured Morgz would be the perfect starting point for where I want the series to go. So yeah. That being said, let's get into it. Morgan Hudson, or better known as Morgz, is a 17-year-old content creator on YouTube who makes fake challenge videos with his family for kids. I don't really know how to explain Morgz's content. I mean, okay, it's kind of like the Disney Channel, but the actors are constantly breaking the fourth wall and screaming into your face.
It's okay though, guys. I am a genius.
Oh yeah, and also he steals like 98% of his video ideas from Mr. Beast, but we won't talk too much about that in this video. For some reason, Morgz is really a hated YouTuber, a despised one at that, and honestly I don't really understand why he's bashed so frequently. Aside from all the Mr. Beast copying and all the blatant cringe, his content is pretty innocent, especially considering the other YouTube role models that we have on the platform right now.
Yeah.
Morgz's YouTube demographic is definitely on the younger side. I mean, I assume his viewer base is anywhere between that 5 to 6, 12, maybe 13 at highest age bracket. And this, my friends, is extremely, extremely important, but I'll explain the importance of Morgz's demographic in a few minutes here. The Morgz brand has now accumulated over 10 million subscribers on YouTube, 209,000 Twitter followers, and 891 Instagram follows. His mom's channel, which is elegantly titled MorgzMum, boasts over 3.2 million subscribers and uploads, well, it's basically Morgz videos, but she's the star.
But this time, it's my version.
And depending, some of you kiddos or Morgz fans might be like, this video is about Morgz, why the heck are we talking about Morgz? Mom, hashtag Team Morgz. And my friends, it's gonna make a whole lot of sense in like 20 seconds, so bear with me here. Between the two channels, and yes, we're talking 2 channels, okay, Morgz and MorgzMum, they upload about 2 to 3 videos a week and reach over 100 million views a month. Morgz Ltd is the business that runs the 2 channels. And wait, hold up here, okay, see, I told you it would make sense for me to lump the 2 channels together, all right? The MorgzMum and also Morgz, they co-own the Morgz Ltd company. They have 50-50 shares because Morgz isn't 18, so he has to co-own. If you're lost, which I'm sure a few of you guys are, an LTD is a type of corporation that limits personal liability of corporate shareholders, which would be Morgz and MorgzMum. And if that still didn't make any sense, don't feel bad, let me break it down for you. Just like an LLC, or I'm pretty sure even an S-Corp, you as the shareholder or sole proprietor of a limited liability company have protection if you are ever sued. Wear protection, kids. Meaning, if the McDonald's brand ever decided they wanted to sue Morgz for some weird reason, they could only sue Morgz for what the company of Morgz was actually worth. Essentially, this just means that McDonald's can't completely sue Morgz for all that he's worth, like his car, his house, his family. They can't ruin his life. So without further ado, let's start breaking down Morgz's YouTube business model, starting with YouTube advertisements. Morgz traditionally produces 15 to 20 minute pieces of content, which each have an estimated of 1 to 2 5-second ads per video, with a healthy variable of pop-up ones. Over this past month, the Morgz channel has accumulated over 88,311,600 views, along with the MorgzMum channel reaching over 13 million. The 2 channels combined reaching precisely 101,365,530 views a month. That's That's impressive. Now, to decipher what the Morgz network is actually making from adverts, we need to figure out the CPM and percentage of actual monetized playbacks that Morgz gets. Like we mentioned earlier, the Morgz channels have quite a younger demographic, and contrary to popular belief on YouTube, kids are not the best for making ad dollars. Well, kind of. The thing is, when dealing with kids, they very rarely purchase things on their own with their own money. Normally, it's with a parental figure. And because of that non-disputable fact, outside of brand awareness, pre-roll ads on YouTube don't have a great ROI for a brand or return on investment. Whereas on the other hand, channels like Jake Paul combat this downside of their audience extremely well and market merchandise instead of services, which is much easier to sell and distribute to kids or more so their parents. You want to know why? Because kids ask their parents for products, not services. I'm telling you, no kid under the age of 12 is like, "Mommy, Daddy, please buy me Grammarly Premium." But to my friends, they are saying, "Mommy, Daddy, please buy me some Jake Paul merch." So, I will say before we get too off track, Morgz does have merch of his very own, so I'll get back into this tangent later. Because of Morgz' younger demographic, I'd assume he'd get a $1 to $3 CPM, maybe 4 if we include all of the multiple ad breaks, but that's really pushing it. And if you're behind, you're confused, don't worry, it's all good. A CPM, or cost per milli, is the amount of commission that YouTube pays a content creator for 1,000 monetized playbacks on their videos. For these calculations, I'm gonna bet on a $2 CPM because it makes the most sense for the niche that he's in, and also it's better to aim low than high in these kinds of business predictions. And since only like half of your video views are actually monetized, the Morgz channels are bringing in about 50.5 million monetized playbacks a month. And then we're gonna want to divide that number by 1,000 and then times it by 2, making our end ad prediction about $101,000 a month, 88 and 13,000 respectively for the two channels. And if those numbers sounded unfamiliar, that's because basically we just divided and then times by 2. I wish it ended there, but in the world of YouTuber money, AdSense is the easy part.
Guys, it is finally here.
Morgz.co is the home of the infamous Morgz merch and houses products ranging from €19 custom t-shirts to €34 Team Morgz hoodies. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of his merch business, I want to take a second to say how much I really respect how he's pricing these pieces of clothing. Most creators heavily overprice their merch. Logan Paul. But Morgz realizes that since his audience is in that 6 to 12 age bracket, it's much easier to cash out on a $17 impulse purchase from a parent than a $30 one. Although in this case, Logan Paul definitely receives an upfront increase in profit margins, Morgz is banking on the power of numbers. And I might be wrong here, but I think that might just be what Morgz is going for, and like I said, I really respect that. Especially considering that to run a merch store, there's almost no upfront cost. Of course, you need to create designs and pay for hosting, but if you do it right, other than the upkeep of the website, there's not that much you have to do. It's mostly automated. We can see here that Morgz works with Exania Clothing to produce his merchandise, which is a decent starting point, but unfortunately I have no idea what the heck Exania Clothing is outside of being a clothing company, of course. Well, okay, I did find one thing. Exania Clothing Ltd is a legit UK-based company filed under Mr. Jack Saunders, which as well turned out to become a dead end. But that being said, it is time for my detective skills to come into play. Via this video from Buzz Bertie, a Morgz fan who did an unboxing of his Morgz merch, we can see via the screenshot that Morgz merch is printed onto Russell branded clothing. For Morgz to produce with Russell clothing, the upfront cost is $10 USD per t-shirt, which really isn't that bad. And on top of that, since he has this mysterious contract with Exania Clothing, I'd probably estimate that they receive a 20% commission from Morgz' merch profits for distributing and producing his products worldwide. So, let's take the €17 t-shirt, which is the basic equivalent of $19 US, take the $19 minus the t-shirt manufacturing costs, then take the $9, then subtract 20% for the commission to Exania Clothing. We come out to about $7.2-ish US in take-home profit for Morgz per t-shirt sold. And that's before taxes, of course. Now, that's great and all, but how much merch does Morgz actually sell? And that, my friends, is a great question. The problem is there's no real way to know how much merch that Morgz is selling without seeing his income reports myself. But thanks to surfing on the World Wide Web, we can bypass this dilemma by using the industry standard conversion rate for e-commerce websites. which is 3.67%. Basically, in human terms, that means that 3.67% of people that load up Morgz's merch store actually buy a piece of clothing. But that still doesn't answer the question of how many people are actually going onto Morgz's merch store. According to SimilarWeb, this past month, the Morgz.co website has accumulated about 203,000 hits. Now, let's take the 203,000 hits, times that by a 3.67 conversion rate, and boom, shakalaka, we have our estimate. I'm really proud of how researched this this video is. I feel like my high school education is finally accumulating into something that matters. According to our super epic business estimate, we can see that Morgz is probably bringing in about 7.5 thousand merch sales each and every month. But now we still gotta figure out how much Morgz makes each and every month from merch sales. Get out your calculators, boys. Take the 7.5 thousand merch sales each and every month, times that by a $7.2 profit, which I'm gonna round to a $12 to balance out the sweatshirt sales. We get an estimated $90,000 a month in merch sale profit, which is awesome and probably quite accurate. Though I will say this number could be on the low end, just because if you're on his merch store, you're probably more inclined to actually buy merch, and with the whole parent factor involved, there could be a lot more moving pieces than we're actually considering in this estimate. But like we mentioned earlier, it's much better to aim low than it is to aim high in these business style predictions, especially considering that the site has a 50% bounce rate. And now our combined income for the Morgz multi-channel network is now at a whopping $191,000 a month pre-taxes. Next up, affiliate links. Digging through Morgz's descriptions, there's not a ton of links. He really gets straight to the point, which is great. But there is one affiliate link in the descriptions of his videos, and that affiliate link, mind you, is for Omega RT racing chairs, which just kind of boggles my mind. I could be wrong here, and okay, maybe this is just because Morgz uses the GT Omega chairs, so it just kind of makes sense. But his audience, the 6 to 12 demo, is not by any chance gonna be in the position to drop hundreds of dollars on gaming chairs. They're just not. That being said, you can use coupon code Morgz for a sweet discount on your next GT Omega purchase. But I'm gonna be sticking with my Titan chair here because I already paid enough for this guy. Anyways, for some weird reason, I had a ton of trouble finding concrete commission data about GT Omega Racing Chairs affiliate program, but interacting with a few friends who actually are affiliated with this brand, and also by ripping this old webpage because for some reason I can't access it anymore, we can see for the most part the GT Omega Racing Chairs offer a 5% kickback for all purchases. And depending on the pricing of the chairs, that'd be an estimate of $10 USD per chair sold via the Morgz discount code. Like I said, I really don't think this venture is extremely lucrative for Morgz, especially considering that he rarely plugs it, but I'd put a bet on the assumption that Morgz probably brings in a couple $100 a month from this affiliate deal. I mean, it's not a lot, but it definitely does put a dent in the bucket of money that Morgz has, especially quantified over a year. Next up and last but not least, Bran Deals. Surprisingly, Morgz uses very few brand / call to actions in his videos. I picked out 6 to 7 random videos on his channel, and really, outside of plugging the merch and the pause challenge, there's nothing to see here.
It's time for the 5-second subscribe challenge!
Interestingly though, he does encourage business inquiries, but like I said, there's not much going on. At least on YouTube, that is. Honestly, I could very well be overlooking something. I really don't know what to say. But if I am, let me know in the comments below. With all these pieces put together, Morgz's monthly income is an estimated $150,000 to $300,000 a month, with our estimate putting Morgz at precisely $192,000. That number, my friends, is nothing. Zilch to scoff at, but to some of you that may seem minuscule, especially considering his influence in comparison to Logan Paul. But the thing is, there are 2 routes that you can take as a creator. You can either be a celebrity and make a little bit less from the masses, or be a little bit less popular but make more with a dedicated fan base. I think Morgz will pivot into the latter in years to come, but right now he's milking his current format for all he can get, and I think that's great. I heavily respect him for that and all he's accomplished. As a fellow 17-year-old who used to hate Morgz, he becomes a real person once you realize him and his mom have that 50-50 split in the company that he owns. Maybe it's just me, but now he has that relatability factor that I can connect with. Anyways, this video is getting super long, so I'm not going to be breaking down the entire net worth of the Morgz brand, just because that's a whole nother video in itself, a whole nother series in itself, because you have to not only figure out his net profits per year, you also have to figure out net expenses, the tax things of him, like, because oh my gosh, it's confusing. What I'm saying is, just because of the UK tax laws, to take advantage of the tax benefits that an LTD offers, Morgz and his family, Morgz and his mom have to take home an income of profit from the Morgz LTD, and there's no real way for me to figure out in a timely manner all that stuff, because Yeah, also, what constitutes as an invasion of privacy at this point? I don't know. But if it makes you happy, with our estimate, Morgz makes about $2.3 million a year. So maybe his net worth is about 5 to 10 million. I don't know. I'm just saying I have enough trouble keeping up with my own net worth, let alone Morgz. That being said, the whole purpose of this video, Morgz, if you're watching this video and I'm relatively accurate, maybe I'd love to interact and ask you some questions because business is fun. I really respect you, and through all the cringe and hate, you still seem to have a decent relationship with your family, and you're bringing in bank. And you have a long, prosperous future ahead of you, and as a fellow 17-year-old, I respect it. Right on, man. Like always, I could be wrong about a lot of these estimates, but to be fair, I do think I did kind of hit the nail on the head with some of these. And to show off my newfound respect for Morgz, I'll be picking up a new piece of Morgz merch. Yikes, I have definitely changed over the past 3 days of writing the script. Alrighty. There we go. Coming next week. If you want to see me wearing the new Morgz merch, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Paul_Groseclose. Today's comment of the day comes from LunaGirlYT. Luna says, "Can I be the comment of the day? Your channel is so awesome, I would consider it a mighty award to be featured in any of your videos." Of course, Luna, you freaking rock. Luna is always in the comments section of my videos. I'm always seeing the comments from Luna, so Luna, if you are watching, you rock. And if any of you guys want to be the next comment of the day, make sure to stroke my ego in the comments below. This is so cringy. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this whole thing kind of came together in a cohesive story. It took 3 days to research and write this whole thing, but I loved every second of it because, like I said, I love talking about business. It's really fun. I hope you guys don't think it's an insane information overload, and I hope this video isn't too long. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know who you want to see in the next episode of YouTuber Money, and without further ado, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.